Hello. Hello, beautiful people. Hello. I am going both live on IGTV and my YouTube. So, with that being said, if you are tuning in from IGTV, hello, beautiful. And if you are watching from YouTube, hello. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to all the people that are watching. Hello. So, you guys, I woke up this morning with a little something on my heart. And the reason why I'm doing this impromptu live is because, hello, thank you everybody for joining in. I'm kind of just explaining what this is while I'm doing it. But basically, there has been a lot going on in the country, in the world. And I just know that a lot of people, a lot of Black people, a lot of people that are aware, a lot of people that are advocating for certain rights and justice in this world are a little bit upset about what is going on right now. Hello, Goddess in the flesh. Hello, beautiful. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. So like I said, I'm going live on YouTube and IGTV, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. But basically, I'm here because the weight of a lot of the injustices and truly a lot of the deaths that have been going on and that have been continuing to occur in the world have been weighing heavily on me. And I just didn't know what to do. I know that a lot of people around me are very sad and a lot of people around me are very angry. Hello, mommy. My mom's in here. Hello. I know a lot of people are feeling some type of way about what is going on right now. And I really just wanted to provide some clarity. I wanted to give some clarity to myself. I wanted to try to give some clarity to anybody that is watching right now that may be feeling this way, or anybody that is watching in the future. So this is a collective message. I feel like that this is timeless. This will find you whenever, wherever, and however you need it. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, wherever you're at. I'm so happy you're tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Because this message, like I said, was really weighing on my heart and I wanted to talk about it, and I didn't know any better way to talk about it in a group. Hello, Black Lady Tarot. I didn't know. I love you too, Jada. Thank you so much for watching. I didn't know any other way to talk about this other than do it through tarot. Because it just helps me make sense of things. So like I said, I'm going live on both my YouTube and my IGTV. Both are at the Pynk Lady. And in the description box below, I will leave all information once I get to this. But I really want to get to this message because, like I said, Spirit has a lot to say, and I've just been in my bed pulling. But I want to talk to you guys first about the channel message that I got. So I don't know if you guys know this song or not, but it's called The Sound of Silence. And I found the Simon and Garfunkel version. Hello, beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I found the Simon and Garfunkel version of it. And the lyrics go like this. And it's like somebody made a meme of the beginning of the song. And that's where I initially knew it at. It's the Hello, Darkness, my old friend song. But that song kept coming up when I was pulling these cards, and it has been in my conscious a lot lately. And I actually looked up the lyrics, and they're very powerful. So I want to read two of the sections to you guys, and then we're going to get into why this matters to the message that I have to give today, the message that Spirit is giving through me, especially in regards to what can we do with some of this anger and some of this sadness that we're feeling with what's going on right now, because I just don't know how to act like shit is okay, because shit is not okay. And things have not been okay in this country, in this world, for a very long time. And I get the whole peace, loving, and lighting it, and I absolutely understand that, but I just don't. I am upset that I feel like history is continuing to repeat itself. So I just wanted to pull some tarot cards to see if I can gain any clarity on how to help me understand what the is going on right now. So the song that I got the channel, and I'm just gonna be going through this, you guys. And this will be posted on my YouTube channel as well as my IGTV. Thank you so much for tuning in live. If you're tuning in live, I love you guys so much. But this video will be posted, so don't feel bad if you need to check back in. But I really want you guys to get this full message. Okay, boom. So the lyrics go like this. I'm gonna read you the first little paragraph. Period. Okay. So I'm gonna read you the first paragraph, and it goes like this. It's hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. And then the next paragraph, like a little bit after, it says, and in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. And then it says, Fool, said I, you do not know, silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I may teach you. Take my arms that I may reach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echoed in the wells of silence. So what I find so interesting about this song and the fact that it kept coming to me is it has a lot to do. Like, even if you want to play this song, it's the version that I was listening to with Simon and Garfunkel, but I actually was watching Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and they sang the song, and I was like, oh my God, this song, like the lyrics, they were just so powerful. So I really wanted to talk about that. And when I was pulling the cards, the first two cards that came out were Remembrance. I'm going to show IGTV and YouTube at the same time, but Remembrance, the card of Remembrance, and the card of Coherence, 13. And these were the first two cards that popped out. So the little thing that's on the bottom of the Remembrance card, I'm trying to figure out a way to show both IGTV and YouTube at the same time. Okay, here we go. So the card, it says at the bottom, the frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in a body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully within this life. Remembrance. So the fact that this card came out first pick, like it literally made me emotional because, like I was saying, a lot of what I feel like has been personally triggering me, or just a lot of what's been going on in the world that has been personally triggering a lot of people, is the murder, the the injustices, the unjust murders that have been occurring and that have been continued to occur at outlandish rates towards Black people and brown people by the people that have been oppressing us for decades. But we're not going to get into that because that's not what this is about. This is about how we can deal with some of the anger and some of the sadness that we feel, because I know that I even have to work on some of the ways in which I feel like this anger boils and bubbles within me, and the ways that I've seen it affect me on a both personal scale and worldwide scale, the way that it affects all of us. But with Remembrance coming out here first, I would just like to say a prayer. Whew, I gotta breathe, y'all. Sorry. And it's crazy because it just started raining outside too, and I love when it rains. Okay. I just want to say a prayer over everyone watching this live right now. I want to say I love you, and I hope you guys have a safe day. I hope that you guys are blessed and protected, because this world is crazy. I hope you get to and from wherever your destination is safely and securely. Okay, with love, light, and peace. So mote that be. Amen. Ashe. But I also want to say, with Remembrance being here as the first card that came out, on how we can deal with our anger, how we can deal with our sadness, how we can deal with just the collective energy of what's going on right now in the world. I think the first thing that we need to do is say a prayer of remembrance, or find some sort of way to acknowledge those who have passed away, find some sort of way to acknowledge those who have lost their life to just wanting to exist. And I think that's very important. I think people always want to speak about what we're not doing. And I feel like I can even fall into those habits, because I feel like sometimes when we just see the fact that it's not working, we want to blame the fact that we're not working hard enough. But I don't think that's the case at all. I think we as a collective have been doing everything that we feel like we can do to help ourselves. But I just think we need to start to move more as a collective and start to come together, because even when you talk about the idea of remembrance, it says it supports our memory of everything we have gone through as a soul in a body, everything we have gone through as a soul and a body, really understanding and finding a coherent, because the coherence card came out. We have remembrance and coherence. And what I see with these two cards is a need to take into account our past, everything that we've gone through, everything that we've been through, everything that our ancestors, and I'm not just talking about ancestors and people that were, you know, a couple hundred years ago. I'm talking about people who look like us, that birthed and created the nations that we all thrive in and thrive because of, and thrive, you know, off of. I want to talk about some sort of remembrance and coherence in that as well, and also tracing back maybe the idea, because sadly, especially, hello, thank you so much for coming in, but especially when it comes to what how specifically, and I'm speaking from someone who lives in America. I live in America. I have traveled internationally, but I cannot speak, or not I cannot, but that is not necessarily what I was pulling for. I was pulling for the riots and stuff that are currently going on right now, the craziness that is currently going on right now in America within our country, and that has been occurring, but that also occurs everywhere else, and I absolutely acknowledge that as well. But with the remembrance and the coherence card, this is 38 and this is 13. So we have 11 and 4. And I see this idea: 4 is about family, 4 is about home, 4 is about stability, 11 is about partnership, it's about balance. And I just really feel like we also need to remember times where justice was working on our side. I miss you too, Jada. I hope you have a great rest of your day, beautiful. But like I was saying, these two cards that came out with it being remembrance and coherence, I want to show you the clarifying cards. The clarifying card came out, it's justice. Justice. And I think that's Isis or Ma'at, like sitting above her. And I just love that it came out with the remembrance card, because I think we also need to keep in mind that we need to remember that justice is on our side. And I don't mean the justice system. I mean the balancing scales of right and wrong, of good and bad, of light and dark. Thank you so much, beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm literally about to get a retwist. That's why my hair looks like this, but I actually love it all fluffy. So we're here and we're live, baby. Okay. But basically, with the scales of justice, with the goddess of justice being here with the cards of remembrance, and the two other cards that were clarifying it were the Two of Wands, the Two of Wands, and the Five of Swords. I'm trying to show you guys. This is from the Light Seers deck. Two of Wands, Five of Swords. So with this card clarifying the justice card and the remembrance and the coherence card, I feel like, do you guys see? If you look at it, it looks like two completely different types of energies. You have one very cool, colder energy. The Five of Swords literally represents that time after battle where you have to pick up all the pieces. It also represents being in some sort of mental battle or some sort of mental conflict. And the Two of Wands looks at weighing your options. It's looking about setting sail. It's talking about trying to figure out where you're going to go next, trying to look over. So with this, I feel like this person is looking over and trying to make plans for it and trying to plan a vision. Because if you can see, she wants to travel. There's a world. There's like a little, what is that called? Like Volkswagen minivan and a surfer. Like you can tell she wants to go somewhere else. But what she is actually looking over is her past, failures, is her past battles, is her past wars. So I also feel like we need to remember, okay, girl, have fun on Zoom. Okay. Have a good day. I love you. But with the Two of Wands being here with the Five of Swords, I see it as looking over times where we have had to fight, where we have had to battle, where we have had to suffer the consequences of maybe some things that weren't also pleasant. Because if you can see in the back, okay, the person is bleeding. There was some sort of wound, but it just looks like a battle wound, because at the end of the day, the person was able to walk free. And the only thing that truly haunts them is the thoughts, is the visions, as the, see the birds that follow. That's the only thing that is in between the blood spill, the blood splatter, is the thoughts and the things that exist in your head and how that perpetuates in other cultures and times and stuff like that. So with that being said, because there's a couple more cards I want to get into, this remembrance of coherence, I really feel like we need to keep in mind as a people, as a collective, to all the people who care about maintaining some form of justice for all people, not just people that look like them are not just people who are privileged in the ways that they are privileged in. I'm really talking to everyone, because honestly, in order to fix a lot of the issues that we have within our society and within our system, everybody needs to be willing to participate in aiding. But at the end of the day, the God or the goddess of justice is here, and she is here looking straight at us, and behind her is remembrance, coherence. So I feel like this is a very powerful message, because I feel like Spirit is just asking us to remember times even in our past where we as a society, and even people that look like us, people that thought things like that we did, times in our society where we were successful in fighting for justice and successful in fighting for our rights. So even I feel like for ways moving forward, because people always like to talk about what can we do about it, I really think we need to look back into the past on times where we were able to come together as a collective and do what we need to do. Okay, you could take that however you want, but do we need to do? And the thing that I like about coherence says the frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. So it's really truly about being not only in your heart, not only all in your feelings, not only all, basing your actions off of, your heart space and how you feel, because a lot of the times people especially expect us to act from a triggered place of hurt, because we are so wounded. We have been so wounded, and we have every right to be angry. We have every right to be upset. We have every right to be exactly how the fuck we are. But the card of coherence is here to talk to us about how to blend the two realities, how to blend how we feel, how to blend what we've gone through, how to blend the past and the things that we have gone through in our literal body, in our minds, that have been passed down to us from generation, how to hold space for all of that and still have some sort of space for some sort of belief, still have some sort of space for some hope, some vision. And the reason why I say that is because the next two cards that come out were the third eye and the delight card. The third eye and the delight card. And the cards that were clarifying this were the 9 of Pentacles and the Lovers. And so I feel like, everybody, all my, my witch babies that are into moon magic, maybe start doing some magic, or maybe start trying to prioritize, bringing together harmony in the world. Because I see this as someone who, well, the cards came out like this. But I see this as the 9 of Pentacles represents single energy, independent energy. Hello, Mayos. Hello. But it represents single energy with the full moon here. But we also have the Lovers. And like I was saying, we are trying to focus on a way to blend our heart, what we're going through, how we feel right now, and the vision that we see for ourselves in the future, and still make space for carrying the weight of all the I was going to say, trying to figure out a way how to carry the weight of all the dead, all the lost dreams, all the lost hopes, all the lost visions, all the injustices. I feel like we are really just trying to figure out how to blend the balance of the two. And that's what we need to be focusing on in this Gemini season. Even if you want to talk about, hello, Wiz, hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I am on IGTV and YouTube live right now. So thank you guys for watching. But like I was saying, this just is me trying to figure out and gain some sort of clarity on what is going on right now in the world, and why, what can we do with our anger? What can we do with our pain for what is going on right now? And I feel like anybody that believes in themselves enough to manifest love and light into their life, we need to start focusing and putting that energy all around us, putting that energy within us. Because if you look at this vice versa card, the 9 of Pentacles, she's surrounded in a beautiful garden all around the Pentacles, you know what I'm saying? And with this full moon and the Lovers card clarifying this third eye chakra and the delight card, I want to talk to you about what these two cards mean. Because the third eye chakra, it says the frequency of the third eye, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and inner knowing, our imagination, and our psychic powers. We as a people have so much power that we willingly surrender to external forces, that we willingly give to other people, that we willingly just do not tap into and use. And I feel like now is not the time to remain complacent. that is why I felt so motivated to get up and do this reading, because I just didn't know how to continue to make sense of this situation to myself. I could not figure out how to continue to pacify certain injustices that have been happening in the world. It doesn't make fucking sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. So I feel like instead of being comfortable in complacency, Spirit is asking us, like I was saying earlier, to embody this idea of remembrance, but coherently. Acknowledge the dead, remember the pain, hold the hurt, but figure out a way how to turn it into a vision that can help others, that can heal others, that cannot inflict more pain. Because I don't think that will ever be helpful. I don't think trying to well, I'm just going to keep talking, because I think what we need to do is we need to hit them on every side, on all direction. And like I said, the remembrance coherent card, I think, also taps into, maybe we need to start looking back at some times in history where people have fought for their rights in ways that did actually effectively change the politics and the policing of the people that they were fighting for. So I think maybe we need to tap into our history books, tap into, see where the justice was served, where we feel like justice was served for the people that were fighting for it, and take some notes. But with the delight card, the frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we invoke in others. And I feel like one of the biggest reasons on why, and I don't really want to get into this too much right now, but I feel like one of the biggest things people try to take from us, especially as people who have so much power, is our ability to be happy, our ability to be light, our ability to enjoy the delight within ourselves and see that as a vision, not only for ourselves, but for our people, for the people that we surround ourselves with. You know what I'm saying? Our ability to maintain and control our own personal happiness allows us to, hello, Tay, our ability to contain and maintain our personal happiness allows us to be able to share and spread that. Hey, Rumi, share and spread that with other people. Just like my roomie, we give to and fro happiness, okay, and maintain a happy home. But when we're not on the same page, okay, when we're not both keeping in tune and in mind the idea of the fact that we can enjoy ourselves, laugh a little, maintain this idea of delight, don't let anyone feel like, or any situation or anything feel like it can take your idea or your vision of the light away from you. Don't even let your anxieties, don't let your own personal self, like nothing is worth that sacrifice. And I even feel like the constant perpetuation, the constant fluctuation of certain violence, certain malicious intent, certain atrocities that are occurring on in the world are sent to desensitize us and to put us in this state of grief. They want us to maintain this perpetual state of mourning. So we're always at a loss. So we maintain that idea within ourselves. But even if we can somehow, if we can somehow maintain delight, even in the face, I know that this is hard and this is always easier said than done, but maintain delight, even in the face of this shit. I don't really know how else to put it. In the face of our anger, in the face of our sadness, if you can find a way to hold space for all of our grief and all of our mourning and all of the injustices that we have experienced generations upon generations upon generations, if we can figure out a way to hold that and still find something to be delighted about within ourselves, figure out a way to give delight to our people, because we also need to do that just as much as we need to advocate and fight back against the people that we feel like we need to defend ourselves against and fight against. We also need to pour love and joy and delight and love back into our home, so we're not only projecting this idea that even violence is going to bring us peace somehow, because that's, like I said earlier, we need to hit them with all directions, on all sides, a united front, so we can get what we need done. You feel me? Take that as you may, but I just feel like, you gotta, we can't be monolithic in the way that we approach this, because they are not monolithic in the way that they oppress us. So it's levels. Okay. So the next card that came out was allowance and realization. not realization, allowance and transition. And so what I feel like the main thing that we need to do is exactly, violence is an answer, but it is not the single answer, because you feel me, sometimes you have to defend yourself. Even in life, literally, you know, if someone came into my house, I would have a right to protect myself, because that is literally trespassing. So if someone is trespassing on your boundaries, on your property, on your home front, you know, you have a right to defend yourself. But just like that right to defend yourself, it has been instituted by laws, by the government, by people who put in place even the value, the intent that defending yourself is necessary. So even, okay, there's levels to this, and we cannot allow ourselves to see and experience this pain in a one avenue way. It's not going to work, because also a lot of the pain and a lot of what we're going through is a transitionary state. So in this place of transition, if we continue to try to keep beating this dead horse, okay, and trying to abide by this system that was never even set up for us, if you even if you want to talk about policing, the idea of policing was not created for people that look like me. It was created to hunt people that look like me. Policing, literally, the idea was born out of a time where they needed to maintain the laws of the land, and the laws of the land that they were currently maintaining was to keeping people like me to be enslaved. But that is another conversation in itself. So we cannot continue to expect this system that was not built to support us for real in the first place to serve us. We need to allow this transition to occur, because what is going on in America is going on everywhere. There's so much change. There is so much hostility. It reminds me of like an earthquake and aftershocks, like that tense moment, like right before the big strike. I don't even know. I've been getting a lot of like natural disaster shit too, and I don't even want to talk about that because that just scares me. Okay, but so the allowance in transition, it says the frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment. Like Miles said, violence is an answer, not the single sole answer. So stay ready, so you don't gotta get ready, but you know, you don't always gotta start with the violence or end with the violence. You know, violence is a consequence, baby. All right. So to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in this wondrous existence and expansion. And I'm not saying we should allow what is going on to occur. I'm just saying this. The song that I was channeling when I was pulling the energy of this is "It's some shooters in the house. It's some shooters." You need a shooter on your team. Okay, but you need a team. So let's make sure we're assembling the correct way. Make sure we have the correct vibes going on. You know, everybody need a shooter in the house. Make sure you got your shooter on deck. If you are the shooter, stay on deck. But I'm just saying, like, we need to allow this transition to occur in the world, because truly, 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 for real, outdated systems, this masculine energy, and I'm not saying male, but this masculine dominated world of dominion and power and overexertion, and just like that idea, it is ending. There's a balance coming. Even if you look at the sacred geometry of transition, it reminds me a lot of yin and yang, but it reminds me of the fact that the biggest ball, or the most illuminated ball, is literally in the middle. It looks like the most unlit, hottest one. So I feel like when we're in the eye of the storm, you know, it's gonna feel like it, and we are in the eye of the storm right now. But I definitely feel like a system and of transition is occurring. It says the frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of our existence and our lives. We should never expect things to nothing in this world is stagnant. It grows, it changes, it dies every day. And like I was saying earlier with the remembrance thing, what's been really weighing on my heart heavily is the fact that Black people have been dying from police brutality at staggering rates since before I was born, since before my mother was born, since before my grandmother was born. Hello, Nikayla. Hello. So I just feel like with this card of transition, it says that we just need to let go, surrender to the process, and allow this transition to occur with ease and grace. I feel like we cannot fight like this death that is occurring with the systems that are going on in this world right now. Like at the end of the day, this little terrible way of functioning really reminds me of a dying cockroach, like on its back, like giving its last little kicks. Like, yes, you can kick, you can scream, but the old system, the old functioning, the old way of doing things, it's over. It's gonna be done. So, okay, everybody's fucking tired. Everybody's fucking fed up of this shit. I know I'm fed up. Okay, that's why I did this reading, because I needed to make sense. I needed to make it make sense so I can make dollars, because this shit is just not adding the fuck up. And at this point, it hasn't been adding up for me. It hasn't been adding up for my mother's generation. It didn't add up for my grandmother's generation. It didn't add up for my great grandmother's generation. I just want to know, when is this shit going to start making sense? So that's why I did this reading, because I don't know how to have faith in a world and a future where I feel comfortable bringing. It's 1:11 right now, so amen. But I just don't know how I can feel comfortable in a world, bringing into a world any children, or just having faith in a world that is in this state. Like, this shit is fucking scary. Like, when you think about everything that is going on right now, and it's not to incite fear, I don't want to do that, but it's just like, there is a lot going on right now all over the place, and this has been occurring. It's just now we finally have enough eyes and ears everywhere to be aware of how drastically it has been occurring every single fucking where. And it's so crazy, because the cards that are clarifying these two is the Knight of Swords and the Devil. And what I find so fucking intriguing about this is the Knight of Swords is literally rushing the fuck in, flying in mid thin air, straight at the Devil. And like I said, it's some shooters in the house. We need some shooters in the house. So everybody that wants to condemn and talk down to the people who are protesting or anything like that, like I said, I feel like we need to be more of a united front and start figuring out, okay, well, if that's not your avenue of advocacy, then what the fuck is? Figure it out there. Do something there. Move, shake, do something. We all need to be willing to do something, because it seems like a lot of people are just willing to talk about it and not be about it. I think Spirit is asking us, especially during this time. Hello, Kira. Spirit is asking us during this time to really figure out. Hello, Your Highness. Hey. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for watching. But like I was saying, I figure out what's going on during this time is like Spirit is really asking us to step the fuck up to the plate. Step up. Step up. If everybody did their job and brought what they needed to the potluck, I literally just made a video about this. Do something, contribute somehow. If marching, if advocating, if writing, if speaking, if that is not your thing, then what is? Is donation? Is even praying at night? Is that your thing? What is it? Twerk something. Hey, okay. But I feel like with the Knight of Swords and the Devil coming in here, if you guys can see, the Knight of Swords is coming in to cut this person who is being trapped by the devil. This nigga got a bright ass sword and he's OT dubs. He's OT dubs because, like I said, we got some shooters in the house. So, like I said, how are you a shooter for your house? You know, how do you protect? How do you hold down your space, your community, your family, the people that you relate to? How do you do that? Because I don't think violence is the only answer, but an answer it is, can be. If reactionary, I don't know. We're not talking about it right now. So let's get into a few last cards that came out that I want to talk to you guys about. So what we need to start focusing on is what I wanted to talk about. And the card that came out was the card of communication. This is all sacred geometry. So even mental space. Come on, Kira, you feel me, period. So like I said, I'm on IGTV and YouTube. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. To everybody that is tuned in on the YouTube, hey. And if you tune in on the IGTV, hello. So like I said, communication. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. Okay, we need to be a united front. We need to be speaking and talking, you know, in many different ways. It's a lot of eyes on us. It's a lot of pressure points on us. It's a lot of fracture points to address. We need to be talking, at least, even if we don't want to be on the same page. We all need to know what page everybody on. You only read the 24. Okay, I read the whole book. You read the summary. You read the preface. Didn't read the preface. She read the index. She know the chapters. Okay, if we doing a group project, if everybody didn't read the whole book, if everybody took a chapter, we need to come together because we got the chapter presentations tomorrow. So with communication, it says it reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of our truth, to stay in flow of source and balance exchange. So I also feel like what we need to do right now, because like I said, this video is about how to address some of the anger and some of the sadness we could be feeling right now in regards to what is going on in the world currently. But I feel like when it comes to communicating, we need to be speaking not, and I hate when people say from a place of love in a corny way, but it's like everything that we need to be saying to each other right now, we need to be acting like we are talking to our grandmother. We need to have that much respect and love coming from us, because it's like, I feel like we are talking at each other and we are coming at each other's necks and fighting and causing all of this, this separatism, I guess, between us, because we want to point out all of the points where we're different, when we need to be coming together. The world has put us in a state to where we are literally being told every day with all of the commercials, or all of the warnings, that we are in our own world, that we are in this alone, that we need to stay at home, and that we need to be by ourselves, and that we only need to worry about ourselves, and we only need to fend for ourselves, and we need to focus on ourselves. Yes, create discord. Literally, this is to incite discord. And there's literally, I don't want to start talking about it right now on this video, because it literally will get shut down. But there are literally books, documented evidence, that talk about people that have wanted to do stuff like this for a long time. Anyways, and that's why communication is important. And even that's why I was talking about earlier, we need to start looking back in the past. We need to start doing more research on places and points and times in the past where stuff like this has been occurring, and see maybe what people did wrong, maybe what people did right, what we can learn from. We need to take pieces of information. We need to be communicating not only with ourselves and the people that are alive, but we need to stay in communication with our higher selves, with our ancestors. They have a lot to provide us right now. Okay, it says we need to remind ourselves to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of our truth. So every information that they do more research on us. Oh my God. They do more research on us than we do research on them. I'm so sorry, y'all. Somebody was calling me. They do more research on us than we do research on them. And I feel like what that says is like, if the least we can do is be just as informed as the people that we swear up and down we are willing to fight against, or we are willing to take down, or we are willing to confront, because we cannot continue to be complacent and ill-informed. It is problematic. It is problematic, and it is extremely infuriating, guys. Like, we cannot continue to be ill-informed. And with communication, the first thing we can do is start talking. The first thing we can do is start talking to each other. The first thing that we can do is start talking to each other, because our truth, our knowledge is powerful. Our truth, our knowledge is powerful. Yes, I'm going to get into my Hotep repeatery because the clarifying card that came out was the Knight of Swords. This nigga is flying in the mother freaking air with the sword of glowing truth in front of him over this terrain. You see his face, ready for battle. But this is all about willing and ready to share your truth, willing and readiness to study your truth. Actually, this is the Page of Swords. So with the Page of Swords coming out, it's beaming, ain't it? The reason why it's beaming is because the truth has been so focused. It's been, Diamonds are made out of pressure. Do you know how long, as a collective, we have been fighting for our truth to be heard, to be seen, to be recognized, to be acknowledged, to be healed within ourselves? It is this blade is so unbreakable, unpenetrable. We have the best built case to fight for our rights against anything. So let's start doing it. Let's start communicating with amongst each other. Let's start sharing our truth. Let's start. And it says communication, communicating supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. We need to be exchanging our information in many different forms. Okay, you feel me? The lightsaber, the force. You feel me? The two clarifying cards for this were the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Wands. So, like I said, the thing that I think is important, yes. The thing that I think is important is the fact that what we're talking about, communication, it says both incoming and outgoing through our heart, the center of our truth. And the fact that the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Wands came out, I mean, not the Knight of Wands, the King of Wands, protecting us, period. So if you look at this, and the King of Wands, he's so fine, okay? But he is literally the king of passion. He's the ultimate. He understands concentrated effort. He literally understands what it takes, what is required of him or of anyone really to accomplish a goal. He literally has fire energy. This is Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. And if you know any of these signs, this is the energy that we're asking to implore, that the spirit is asking us to implore. But it is asking us to implore it with an electric vibe. Literally, this reminds me of when water and fire come together, how it reminds me of creating electricity. Spirit is asking us to create some electricity. Okay? Spark this bitch the fuck up. Like, okay. Because the next card to come out was discernment, baby. Discernment. Discernment. Woo, God grant me with discernment. Amen. God, amen. Okay, so the frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. This literally reminds me of Aquarius energy. And it's so crazy because literally Kira's in here in Aquarius, Tay is in here in Aquarius. I love you guys. This is literally aqua energy. This is the card. Like I said, discernment. Aquariuses are very good, or they try to be good. They say that they're good at exercising discernment. It says the frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner wisdom and balance. And a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. There is a way to maintain a healthy distance from things and still love and appreciate and value and understand it. And I feel like that's another thing that we need to do with our anger. And a lot of what we feel right now is we need to come at it and look at it with discernment, because the cards that came out to clarify are the Five of Wands, and it literally represents actual physical fighting, ego battles. And if you look at this card, it looks very chaotic. It literally has a volcano in the back. Like, these niggas look like they finna go at it. You know, they look like they on opposing teams. It's very separate energy, you know, whatever. So I feel like just there's a lot of period. So I feel like there's just a lot of ego battles that are going on within people internally. And it's also like I said, the ego is also represented by the devil card in this, and the devil card is here. So I also feel like the Knight of Swords is here to cut us off from our ego and places that we allow ourselves to even exist in that. Because if you want to talk about, the Lovers card came out earlier. The Lovers card came out with the Merkaba. And if you look, I mean, the Lovers card came out earlier with the Devil. And so also, you feel me? This my retwisted hair, you feel me? Wanted to come out here all fluffy and shit. But the Lovers is here with the Devil card. And I feel like another way that the devil attaches himself to ego is if you can see the star that he wears on his chest, looks like the Merkaba that is in between the lover's third eye. So I feel like if you allow the devil to get in the middle of your vision of love and tie you the fuck up and have you wrapped around his little finger, period. If you allow the devil to get you wrapped around your little finger and block the idea of harmony and block the idea of balance and block the belief that love exists and block the belief that positivity is powerful, that light is powerful, and not in like an overly optimistic way, but just understanding the true power and nature of love and how it can really fight against fear and ego and anger and how beautiful of a thing it actually is. That's literally why I call myself the Pynk lady, okay? Because we're loving motherfuckers by any means necessary. You gotta love this shit so you can fix it, okay? But like I was saying, with discernment, I need to see how long this has been. Okay, 45 minutes. I'm going to start wrapping this up. But basically, we need to exercise discernment because I feel like we're going through a lot of ego battles. There's a lot going on right now. And people really want to hold on to a lot of their anger. A lot of people really want to hold on to a lot of like what's going on right now. A lot of people want to hold on to like just like places within themselves that they exist in ego. And I feel that. I know y'all feel that. Like we can sometimes hold on to anger because it even reminds us we have the 10 of cups here with the 4 of pentacles. So sometimes you hold on to anger because you're trying to hold on to your position. You're trying to hold on to your family. You're trying to hold on to even certain parts of the past that you enjoyed, and maybe giving up. Anger means giving up the memories, means giving up other things, means sacrificing other things. But at the end of the day, we need to exercise discernment moving forward. We need to exercise discernment moving forward because I just feel like there's a lot of forces that are against us. And I feel like we need to focus on trying to be more unified. And that's even something that I've been trying to focus on, just really trying to figure out how not just when someone dies. I feel like as a culture, Black people, we are like the fucked up ass family that only comes together at funerals. And it's just like, okay, well, what about church? Like, what about Taco Tuesday? Like, what about like Sunday brunch? Like, why can't we get together and read books on Wednesdays? Like, why do we only have to come together when it's a motherfucking funeral when everybody can wear all black and be seen crying in public? Okay. The thing that we need to keep in mind, I literally, it's 127. I love you so much, Tay. I know you're still watching, but it's 127. I love you. I love you so much. We need to employ Aquarius energy. I am releasing a Saturn and retrograde message, and I think it has a lot to do with what I'm talking about now and what we can do about it. And a lot of it has to do with Aquarius energy because Saturn is retrograding in Aquarius energy. But I want to talk to you guys just about ways that we can actually address, like I said, some of our anger and some of our sadness that we may be feeling right now within the collective or within yourself, because there's just a lot of funky little energy coming on. And I was in my bed and I'm thinking, I'm in my head. And I'm like, instead of being in my head, I'm just going to pull some cards. I'm going to come on live and I'm going to talk to some people who clearly want to listen. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you're listening this far, I really do love you. Every single person that is watching this, thank you for tuning in to the Pynk Lady, because you are dedicating a little bit of your day to some mindfulness and to a little bit of love, because we are fighting this shit by any means necessary. You feel me? Okay. So, what I asked, what can we do in the face of this transition? Because like I said earlier, we're going through a transitionary period, and the Tower card came out, and what I heard is let this bitch burn this bitch to the ground. So like I said, we need to employ this idea of electricity. Like you see, hello, beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in. So like I said, you can see this lightning strike. She strikes the mask, she strikes the mask like the lightning is a she. Period. But if you look on the other side, it's literally either way the tower was gonna fall. Whether it's people in it or not, the tower is gonna fall. So let's just make sure ain't nobody in the house when it gets strike, and make sure we are going about our business. Make sure we are moving together as a united front. These are the two animals that are in the the Chariot card. The Chariot card is all about moving forward. It's about progression. It's about forward thinking, forward movement, actually moving away from things. So I also feel like we need to recognize areas in our life that are being torn down for a reason. We need to recognize areas in our life that are being destroyed for a reason, because they are being sent by God. This is not happenstance. Lightning strikes just don't fucking just like randomly occur. Like, this is purposeful. Hello. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for everyone that is joining, both on IGTV and on YouTube. Thank you. Okay. So, like I said, one thing we can do is just let what's gonna fall. We gotta let it fall. Let it fall. Because I feel like what is going to be built up in replace of it is what we have here is the 4 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles. And I know a lot of people have been watching the Avatar, and I think that's great. Even the fact that there's 4 people in my IG right now, that literally like is great, because I literally think, like I said, we need to hit this situation. We need to use our anger and channel our anger and sadness and channel it in a way that can affect things from all 4 sides. Because if you look right here, we have the elements of earth, fire, air, and water, and it literally reminds me of the 4 different elemental tribes: air, fire, water. You know, that whole idea. But I literally feel like we need to create and maintain some sort of stronghold, some sort of balance, because that's what the 4 of Pentacles represents. It represents something that is unshakable. These towers look nothing like this tower that was falling down. These towers damn near look like they could stand a little earthquake, a little lightning strike. They could do it all. Okay. And with the 6 of Pentacles being here, I feel like we also need to focus on an even balance of give and take. If you look, we have a lot of the elementals. You have Mercury, or they're actually like iron, lead, like all those other things that represent the actual elements of the signs. But if you look on the back, because this is the vice versa, he has a master plan behind him, and he's looking over a city. So I just think, we need to let fall will fall, let burn will burn, and prioritize and focus, placing specifically our money and our value, our worth and our effort, because that is what the Pentacles is about, into, creating strong foundations for ourselves and for the people that we feel are in our like-minded community, because he literally looks like he's planning his own community in the middle of a forest. Hey, but the solar plexus card came out with that. And what I love is it says the frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self and our personal power, our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. So I feel like the main thing that we can do is understand how much we give to this world, and how much we can really give to ourselves, and how much really would not be done, would not be accomplished, if it was not for the people that are being mistreated so poorly, not only just in America, but all over the motherfucking world. Yeah. Ooh. Talking about this has made me feel a lot better, but I literally woke up with like a weight on my spirit about this shit, y'all. I kid you the fuck not. But the thing to keep in mind, the thing to keep in hope, and this is the last thing that I'm going to talk about, is this was the last card, one of the last cards that popped out, and it was belief. Like I said, this idea of 11. It says the frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts, talents, and our strong connection to the source. We are being treated this way because they understand how much of a threat we are to the way that they function off the system. Yes, the tower card has been popping up. We got to let this tower motherfucking burn. Let any towers in your own personal life even burn. Any areas in your life where you feel like you have been experiencing stagnancy, where you feel like you have been fighting against spirit or against other people or against your environment, fighting in this way that you know that things just need to kind of fall apart. Things are not falling apart. Things are falling into place. Okay? Because with the High Priestess, the Emperor, and the 2 of Pentacles right here, we need to be balancing our vision and our power. This literally reminds me of the card of coherence earlier, balancing the heart chakra and the third eye. The High Priestess has her eyes closed because she sees all. She sees all. She sees through. If you can look, her eyes, it's like she has eyes painted on her eyes. She doesn't need to be perceived as seeing in order to see all, because she is the High Priestess. You cannot deny the intuitive nudges that is given to her, because she is what directly connected to source. And that's what the belief card is talking about. We are so powerful as a people. We can do so much for each other. We have done so much for each other. And I feel like we need to not lose sight into that, because the two last cards that came out were emergence and realization. Emergence and realization. Emergence and realization. Thank you so much for coming in, my turn day astrologer. Emergence and realization. We need to realize that we're in a period of transition. And in this period of transition, what is occurring is a new perspective, a new realization, a new way of coming together and going about things is occurring. And it's not always comfortable. Growing pains are never comfortable. We should not expect things to be comfortable during this time when we are confronting so many big issues. But the card of emergence says that it invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from peace. The frequency of realization supports the inner process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world. Let the tower fall. Literally, the cards clarifying that was the tower in reverse and the Queen of Wands. It looks like she's rejoicing, and she controlled the lightning strike to strike. So like I said, let's get electric. Let's combine our ideas of fire and water. Let's combine our passion with our emotions. Let's be coherent in the way that we address our anger and our sadness. Okay. Employ this idea of remembrance. Acknowledge the dead things, the dead people, the dead situations, the things that you have had to leave in the past in order to continue. But we are being powered by the voices and the beliefs and the dreams and the backs of everything. The remembrance card literally says supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in a body, providing us with valuable information and the tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. We have everything that we need to affect all the change that we want, but it's all about believing that we can do so, and understand that we have to do it together. We have to hit them at all sides, not just where we feel like it hurts. It's a united front. Okay, so let's go about this in a united way. Okay, let's have the strength to stand up to any of these tower moments and let, like I said, that shit crumble. Because the thing that we need to be focusing on is our sense of self, our personal power, our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution to the whole is. We are so powerful, beautiful people. This video is literally going on an hour, so I'm going to end it here. I will make sure to put this video on my YouTube channel as a video, as well as on my IGTV. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are watching this far, I love each and every single one of you that is watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, you'll be able to catch this on both of my pages at the Pynk Lady. I love you guys so much. Please stay safe. I wish peace and blessings over all of your lives. Okay, so mote it be. Amen. Ashe. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.